gather round people wherever you go. And admit that the waters will run and roll, and it's set to do that soon to leave your nest to the cold. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times they are a-changing. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't sleep too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that its name is. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing.
World exploding in a love all around me. World exploding in a love all around me. Every time I take a look around me, I have to smile.
For millennia, mankind has dreamed of peace. As our global community continues to evolve, as technology closes the geographic gaps between cultures, we find ourselves more and more occupied with the notion of peace. How should it be fostered? What are its obstacles? And is a great peace, a peace for all the world, attainable? The world today is still full of strife and conflict. Racial and religious tensions still persist, and the vast separation between rich and poor remains an isolating factor in every part of the globe. If old institutions and ways of thought have become ineffective, then the time has come to move past them and allow our society to evolve. This evolution will come through exploring and dismantling the root causes of strife and disharmony, rather than pressing band-aids to 1,000 open wounds around the globe. It is the crowning goal of unifying all the people of the world into a single universal family. Imagine a world once and for all free of racism, economic disparity, religious strife, and the subjugation of women. To some, peace on earth is not merely a possibility, it is an inevitability, immediately within the grasp of mankind. This is the view of over 5 million people worldwide, people from all regions of the globe who have united under one banner, the Baha'i Faith.
The ultimate goal of the faith, the mission of this religion, is to bring about the unification of mankind, to unite the world as one common species.
Baha'is think about the most great peace every day because this is really the time for unification.
Today the teachings are for the entire planet. Because of technology, we can now actually see that occur.
This is what we're working towards.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was wondering if you see any parallel between the problems and philosophies of the postmodern era and those of the Hellenistic era. You have the classical cynics, the hedonist Epicureans, the skeptics, and so forth.
Postmodernism versus the classicists and the Epicureans. Yeah, well spoken. Actually, postmodernism comes in the first 3 chapters of Genesis, as God really said. The postmodernist is a deconstructionist. And Adam and Eve proceeded to deconstruct very quickly. Muggeridge said all new news is old news happening to new people. These things have been around before. The only thing that postmodernism has done is given itself a very sophisticated description. If you can get some big names to, let me give you this illustration. I shouldn't be doing things like this, but here it is. I was speaking to a group of lawyers in the South, and I had come in from overseas. I was very tired. I didn't know why I was even there. And I sat down at the head table, and the woman who was the head of the Bar Association turned to me and said, "You must be a very bold man." I said, "Why, ma'am?" She said, "These guys are a bunch of bulldogs out here. They're wordsmiths, They know what words are all about." I said, "Yeah, I understand that." She said, "So you think you'll be up to it?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "We'll try." So they were literally sitting there like this. So I began my talk. I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, just before I came here, I was watching CNN. I said, I want to tell you the first 3 items on the news. This came on the heels of that very famous statement, it all depends on what is means." And I said the first 3 items on the news in CNN. First item was the CNN reporter walked through the streets, microphone in hand, in our Salvation by Survey culture, asking people, do words have any meaning, or do you make up your own meanings as you read words? Now imagine asking a question like that with words. Do words have any meaning, or do you make up your own meaning with words? And he says, and the survey says, words don't have meanings, you have to impute meanings to words. Second question, does morality have any absolutes, or do you have to make up your own morality? Survey says you have to make up your own morality. I said the third item on the news, ladies and gentlemen, said this: if Saddam Hussein doesn't stop playing his word games, we're going to start bombing him. The arms came down. I said, you deal with words, I deal with words. I want to talk to you today about in the beginning was the Word, and show you why word and reality have to match, or you amputate description from fact. Is there a parallel? Absolutely. And you saw what happened to Greece. The tragedy is that when you take the big 3, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, Aristotle's philosophy on ethics, and Aristotle in rhetoric, and Aristotle in description of virtue and so on, it was taken and politicized by Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great was the best known student of Aristotle, and through power and force he tried to bring unity and diversity with the Greek language and Greek thought. Greek philosophy came perilously close to the truth. It talked of value and virtue, but it never had anything to hang it on. The Hebrews are the ones who told us, I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. Morality for the Hebrews was based inextricably in the very person of God, which means morality and personhood are inseparable. It's not just an idea, it's the essence of personhood. So there's a great similarity, and if we want to see what happened to Greece and Rome, man became deified, cities became glorified, megalopolises started getting built, and in the end of the day, there was no morality, no God. Man became the measure of all things.